Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid-South Wrestling Review for the 17th of November, 1984. Buddy Landel addressing Butch Reed basically says he taught Reed everything he knows. He taught Reed everything that Reed will ever know, and that Reed is a fool for basically turning down Skandor Akbar since Buddy is aligned. Basically running down Reed as a bit of a coward for not wanting to handle things with him and such. Magnum TA and Ted DiBiase, bit of a dream match here. Don't know if it's the only time it ever happens on television. Can't imagine it happens too many times because Magnum's going to be leaving soon for Crockett. Anyway, Magnum works over the arm a bit, and then Ted DiBiase does the tip off. They go off the ropes and a shoulder tackle, and Ted DiBiase with a big hip toss manages to miss the elbow drop on Magnum, and Magnum with an arm drag, and needless to say, DiBiase looking phenomenally winded, kind of cool to see DiBiase kind of begging off a little bit. Hard shot by Magnum right under the chin, and again we've got several, side headlock battles there. Kind of both guys jockeying for position, trying to see who's going to get position. DiBiase taking some short shots and shortcuts. Meanwhile, Magnum is less than happy with some of the cheap shots that DiBiase is taking. DiBiase manages to continue coming, uses the buckle, uses the ropes, uses whatever advantage he can get. Back elbow on Magnum, and again, DiBiase really choking him out, trying to do everything he possibly can to get an advantage and keep an advantage. Skandor Akbar looks on expectantly from the outside. DiBiase tries to get Magnum up for a big power pile driver, but does not succeed. Backdrop by Magnum instead. Series of punches by Magnum to DiBiase. DiBiase spends the next few minutes begging off, backing off, which is weird to see the former North American champion and multiple-time tag team champion from an era gone by do. Big drop kicks under the chin, and DiBiase barely gets his foot on the bottom rope and takes a cheap shot at Magnum. Hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3 with a weapon and all. DiBiase gets a win over Magnum TA. Buddy Landel versus Brickhouse Brown. We bring that feud back a little bit. Buddy joining with the ring announcer and trying to get every advantage he can get, but also trying to cheat to the highest possible level when he can. And ultimately, Buddy Landel and wants to get rid of Brickhouse Brown once and for all. Brown comes in and kind of goes at Buddy Landel. Basically says, "I've beaten you before, I'll beat you again." Not a big deal. Some sidestepping. Brown is pretty successful in the early stages of the match. Buddy Landel with the pull-out Irish whip crossbody. And again, shoulder tackle, rather hard by Brown. Buddy up and over, and then he hits a butt bump by Landel. Landel almost hits the butt bump the way Goldust does, to put that in perspective. Juking and jiving is Brickhouse Brown. He's happy with the clotheslines and other things he gets. Landel with his leg over the bottom rope gets a few short shots. Shot to the midsection and then shot to the face. Landel goes into the buckle and an attempted monkey flip, but Landel hooks the ropes. Landel off the ropes, gets the corkscrew elbow drop, and 1, 2, 3 gets the pin, finally getting his win back over his adversary there. Ted DiBiase, Hacksaw Duggan, first time. They've been at it on TV since quite a while back. And obviously DiBiase says he wants to get even with Duggan. You even see DiBiase returning to the black glove. Not sure if that's something fans are paying attention to, but I certainly am. Duggan opens up on DiBiase very, very hard. Hits a clothesline, and DiBiase rolls over, and we see DiBiase hit several shots. Kicks on Duggan, gets every advantage he possibly can. And Duggan trying to choke DiBiase out, just trying to lay him out. Meanwhile, Doc and Hercules and DiBiase going at Duggan. Basically 3-on-1. Doc in the football helmet lines Duggan up. Oddly, again, much like today, where are the friends of the baby faces? But Williams uses his helmet and spears Duggan with it. Duggan laid out for several minutes here, so he's not in good shape by any stretch of the imagination. No one coming to his aid. Finally, the baby faces do. Brickhouse Brown, Rock and Roll Express, and the like, but too little too late for that particular motion there. Hercules Hernandez and Master G up next. Chic Hercules Hernandez now these days, I suppose. And, that kind of continues. And ultimately, Chic Hercules is a pretty big deal here. Hercules has obviously the power advantage, and we see Master G come in. Master G has been pretty okay, although not really a match for guys with better talent, better training, or anything like that. But good for what he was with the the unexpected maybe leaving of the Junkyard Dog. He serves a purpose. Needless to say, a little bit of power by Master G being put over by Hercules. Hercules goes and checks with Skandor Akbar. Off the ropes we go, cross body by Herc, and he gets a near fall. Master G body slams Hercules. Hercules bumping around for the much younger, I think, Master G. Hercules actually gets sent to the outside. Akbar trying to wave off, beg off damage, and Mr. G gets Master G gets crotched against the ring post, and then we kind of see the continuation of the fight. G fights back, punches are sloppy. G with an atomic drop gets all he can on it, not really enough. Actually falls down in the process of executing the move. Almost a Scorpion style deathlock, and Hercules gets a submission victory there. Horton and Ivy versus the Rock and Roll Express is up next. Rock and Roll Express obviously going towards the scaffold match with the Midnight Express at some point. I don't know that the date of the match has been publicized. If it has, it's less than normal publication. Obviously, Rock and Roll Express are your tag team champions multi-time, and they continue to be running wild on the teams in the Mid-South area. Everyone's working together, and ultimately, Morton hits a series of arm drags, gets his adversaries over and in line, tag off to Gibson. Gibson comes in, drops a few things of note on the arm, and then double drop kick, and the Rock and Roll Express are victorious. Butch Reed is on to Skandor Akbar's tactics, basically says Akbar only cares about himself. He manipulates anyone he possibly can at any given time, and Reed is on to this fact. Superstar Dundee up next against Adrian Street, and that match has continued. Miss Linda once again presenting Adrian Street. Street obviously willing to do just about anything to get over, and former television champion, former major star in the area. I don't know that he ever really gets the complete due that he's worth here in the States. I don't know enough about him to say that he was given the credit that he was due, but that is there. And again, we kind of see Adrian Street prancing and prissing around, arm drags by Superstar, and again we see a couple of attempted shots. Meanwhile, the roll through, roll up, head scissors, and then body scissors by Bill Dundee. Bill Dundee more apt because of his size to take things to the mat, I think sometimes, and that works out. Meanwhile, Adrian prancing around wherever he can to get an advantage here and there, and ultimately it works at least for the moment. Kicks by Adrian, and he continues his foray into assaulting Bill Dundee. Dundee gets kicked in the head several times, and then kind of a roll through Dundee with some kicks again, and ultimately the match breaks down into a bit of a brawl. Punch kick, punch kick. One thing I will say is that Bill Dundee had a long career doing basic stuff. Not that he couldn't do more. I just think this match doesn't require him to do more. I mean, they do eye pokes and the like. Nothing worth writing home about, but it works for what it is. Miss Linda on the outside, kind of trying to cheer on her man, not having the best of go of it. Anyway, double tackle, both men go crumpling to the canvas, and needless to say, Bill Dundee gets caught with a couple of shots, shot across the side of the skull, and the running clothesline by Adrian Street. Street getting what he wants out of it, I suppose. And then he returned to the favor crossbody by Bill Dundee, and Dundee gets the second rope crossbody victory. The Alamo brothers against Art Cruz and Lee Ramsey. Very basic match. They've got less than 4 minutes and an interview segment at the end of the program. Chavo and Hector Guerrero against Cruz and Lee Ramsey. Not a match to write home about. Again, arm drag takeovers by the Guerreros, double drop kicks by the Guerreros as well, and they kind of continue going at things from a double team maneuver, Latin flair style. They certainly fire up. I believe it is Chavo in there, few leg drops across, and big again. Second time in the match, Guerrero's with double backdrops. They do things in stereo, it appears, and some clotheslines and some real basic stuff along the way. And then we kind of ultimately see that Magnum TA challenges Ernie Ladd to get his belt back, and DiBiase for all the chaos he's causing in Mid-South. That will close us for today. We'll be back with the remainder of the month of November. I think there's one more week in November and then the 5 weeks in December, and then we're good for 1984 Mid-South.